All right, welcome back to Pattrn, everybody. This is your home for the latest news in climate change and sustainability. I'm Jordan Steele.
And I'm Steph Abrams, and classrooms aren't the only place that you can pick up some info, so let's get into today's hot topics. For thousands of college students, back-to-school shopping may have started on campus instead of in stores. Several institutions, including Washington University and Georgia Tech, are offering thrift-style shopping to students.
Oh, sweet.
Keeping items in circulation and out of landfills. The programs are driven by donations and give students access to more affordable essentials, from clothing to small appliances. At Washington University, Sharing with a Purpose, or SWAP, is a nonprofit program that allows students to exchange goods and even, but items that are almost half their retail value. And
nice.
At Georgia Tech, their Green Goodbyes program is open all year round, and everything is free to students. This is such a good idea.
Yeah.
Because think of the things you don't need, you use in your dorm room, but you maybe aren't going to bring on to your next spot.
Like the refrigerator, and like the things that you really need to bring home. No, but I was thinking, there are those groups that you can find on like social media too, like a neighborhood group, or maybe the area you live in, and they do the buy, trade, swap program. Because I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, I just used this cooler. I really don't need it. And I was thinking of a guy who might need it. I'm like, oh, should I ask him? Is that weird? Should I just post it? Because I don't want to throw it away. I'd like to give it to someone who needs it.
First of all, these dorm rooms these kids are doing these days.
What do you mean?
You haven't seen like everyone's matching and the signs and the artwork. No. I literally had my phone and stuff on like a box, an upside down box I just left and taped. I mean, they are.
Now it's like full on decorated. They're making it homey.
They are so sophisticated now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
You gotta make it homey. All right, next story here. A junior at Brown University just might be getting an A in her climate solutions course, and one more from us. She created a program that puts energy-generating workout equipment into the campus gym.
This is cool.
So working up a sweat on one of the new machines is also gonna help generate usable electricity, helping to offset the gym's energy consumption. Students looking to do their part or just to get in some cardio can choose from one of two treadmills, stair climbers, or rowing machines.
This should be standard everywhere.
We should
like you've
really
said,
have a way.
At concerts, the energy you should be able to collect.
House.
At your house, walking.
I have a trampoline. Is there something like every time the kids jump, just producing energy?
You can get energy.
Because they're getting the energy. I'm trying to get the energy out of them.
All the floors, all the roads. I mean, there's energy that we could definitely use.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be one of those things, too, where you're doing the stair climber and you got to plug in your phone. And you're just generating the energy that goes right into your phone.
It would incentivize you. At Florida, you could go in the stadium and do the stairs in the stadium.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to do stairs at the Swamp, like in the heat? I mean, stairs are no joke.
We used to have to crawl up and down the stadium.
Crawl? Like bear crawl?
Up and down during our 2-day practices back
Another
in high
energy.
school.
Imagine during a football game if you get all that energy of everyone cheering and jumping and everything. All right, hot topic number 3. Growing up, did you spend weeks planning your outfit for the first day of school? Were you that person? No. I definitely laid it out. Actually, my best friend and I, we'd match our outfits for the first week in elementary school. I remember Valerie Wood. Students today, it's not necessarily about the fit, but where the clothes come from. Soon there will be an app for that. I feel like there's so many apps now. A recent mandate from the European Union requires all textiles sold after 2030 have what's called a digital product passport. This, I think, is super cool. It's better known as the DPP if you start hearing about that, and it works like a QR code. You scan it, and information's gonna pop up about where it was sourced, where it was made, and even instructions on how to wash it.
No way.
North America, Asia, and other regions
That makes sense.
are expected to follow suit. You know what would be even cooler with that? If you could add like a picture of you wearing it or something, so you could just see the history of like everyone who had this shirt or item or whatever it would be. Wouldn't that be cool?
I bought my son a birthday gift, a specific item of clothing. Let's say it's a tennis shoe. And all the kids at school were like, that's not real, those are fake. And
the shoes?
Yeah, no, it's real. We need this thing. Like, no, here, boop, see, it's real.
Or we teach them, does it matter if it's real?
No, it doesn't matter, but you're kids, and they won't learn that until they're probably a lot older.
Well, you start teaching them at, a younger age.
Right.
Yeah.
Just be kind. It's all good. Who cares if it's fake?
Doesn't matter.
Your feet, right?
I think that in the future, everything's going to have some sort of code where you can find out, all this information.
You're going to have it in your glass eye where you just kind of do this and then,
you scroll through. You don't even have the phone anymore. It's just in your eye.
All right, let's get to facts or facts. According to UNICEF, almost 500 million children around the world are experiencing at least twice as many extremely hot days as their grandparents.
In countries like Mali and Sudan, children spend almost half the year in temperatures over 95 degrees Fahrenheit, increasing the risk for heat-related illnesses before some of them are even...
And you know, one of the last places children should have to suffer through heat is in the classroom. But unfortunately for some, a hot forecast could create very dangerous conditions.
As average temperatures continue to climb because of climate change, nearly 14,000 public schools across the U.S. that have never needed air conditioning in the past will have to shell out millions or even billions to cool down. It's something the Center for Climate Integrity is working to fix.
Well, we have spent around $40 billion as a country to add new air conditioning and upgrade air conditioning to schools across the country due to climate change. There's thousands of schools across the country that do not have air conditioning, and typically they are older schools that were, in cities across the northern regions of the country. Schools that did not need air conditioning when they were built 40, 50 years ago or even longer. But now, with the temperatures obviously increasing and extremely hot days being more common, pretty much all of those schools need to be retrofitted with air conditioning, and that is hugely expensive, typically for school districts that don't have the money that they need to do the job right. In some of the bigger cities, you're talking about over $1 billion to do this correctly, like in Chicago and New York. Other places, it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Typically, school districts don't have the money, so what they do instead is they install window units. Those are also expensive, but they don't last that long. They're not designed to run 24/7, 365, right? When it's above 80 degrees outside and you do not have air conditioning in your school, there's a measurable decrease in child test scores, right? It's sort of a 1% for every degree over 80 that you see a decline in learning if you don't have air conditioning. It depends on how long heat waves are, but in general, it's very well documented that kids can't learn in overheated classrooms. And typically, these overheated classrooms are in school districts that are strapped for money in the first place, with many underserved kids who have to deal with lots of other issues and shouldn't have to be forced to try to learn in classrooms that are, literally unbearable. The question is, who's going to pay for this? Boy, that's a tough one because it's just expensive, right? A number of states have tried to pass laws that require school classrooms to be kept below, say, 80 degrees. That's a decent first step because it sets down a marker that's health-based, where the science supports it. And there are many similar laws that require school classrooms to be heated above a minimum temperature, right? You can't send kids to school in freezing classrooms, but now apparently it's okay to send lots of millions of school children to classrooms that are overheated where they can't learn. The federal government can kick in a little money, but really it's the oil majors that cause this problem, and we just believe that that's where the money ought to come from.
Well, over the last hour, we've talked about how things are heating up in the classroom, greener forms of school, transportation, and even making school lunches more planet-friendly. But what about school supplies?
Oh, and I got 2 A's.
Yeah, and I think you got 2 A's this hour, yeah.
According to the National Retail Federation, this year it's expected that families will shell out more than $870 on supplies. That's a lot. Now, if you're going to spend the cash, why not purchase items that are better for the environment? Here's a few items we found. If you need to print something, how about paper that's tree-free? There are several options on the market. You could easily find brands made from recycled paper, old coffee cups, or food packages. There's even versions made from the leftover waste from sugarcane.
All really cool options, but I feel like, and you'd know better than me on this, are they even using that much paper? I feel like everything is on some sort of electronic device, whether it's a computer or some sort of
I mean, there's still, you have to learn hand-to-paper writing and drawing.
No more cursive though, right? They've gotten rid of the cursive.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, I know there's a lot of digital learning these days, but sometimes you just need a notebook, as we were just talking about. You can feel guilt-free with this notebook that's made out of bamboo, a natural and renewable material inside. You'll find recycled paper to jot down important notes.
I don't know why we don't make more things out of bamboo. It grows like a weed.
Yeah.
You can make so many different things out of it, and it's hard as a rock.
Kudzu. We need to learn how to make stuff like paper and all, everything out of kudzu, because that's also just everywhere.
Everywhere, invasive. All right, did you guys know that you can't recycle staples?
I love this story.
So when you recycle paper, you should remove the staples, or someone at the recycling center can remove them. Well, here's a way to fasten your papers together with no metal needed. A staple-free stapler interlocks sheets by making a small tab.
Do you see that?
I see it.
I've never even thought that that is so cool.
I used to make those in school.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us on Pattrn. Don't forget, it's our planet, our future. Have a great day.